Well, it's 4 Sundays into the coronavirus lockdown in Pennsylvania and time for a morale trip. The wife and I are heading toward Southeastern Ohio to the Wayne National Forest Marietta unit to take a look at the covered bridges along State Route 26. So come along. We've crossed through West Virginia on US Route 22, and we're about to cross the Ohio River on the beautiful suspension bridge at Steubenville, Ohio. In Steubenville, we're going to merge onto Ohio Route 7 South, which basically follows the bank of the Ohio River all the way down to Marietta, Ohio, and I believe beyond. We're going to be driving down Route 7, and we'll be turning off on Route 800, which will take us to the north end of State Route 26. This area is also known for its mail pouch barns, and we pass one here even before we get to the National Forest. After about a 20-minute drive along Route 800, we come to the junction with State Route 26, and we head south on Route 26, and before long we realize that we are already in the National Forest. Looking back later at the map, I realized that I really should have continued farther south and turned onto Ohio Route 260, which would have actually cut our mileage as well as our time. We were in for a rude surprise when we got to our first stop at the Knowlton Bridge. We found out that since the last time we were there, it had collapsed in July of last year, actually, 2019. So it's kind of sad to see that center span, the long arch, missing. It's a nice little area. There's a campground, a state forest or U.S. forest campground, and a playground that my wife Debbie enjoyed. This was a very long bridge. There were actually 3 parts to it. The straight trusses survived, but the center span was a long arched truss, and that was the span that was in great distress and collapsed before it was able to be repaired. sad note is that this bridge probably was lost because it actually survived the floods of the early 2000s. The other two bridges downstream were destroyed by flooding, and they got funds to rebuild those. But this bridge had been in great distress, but they couldn't get the funding to for immediate repairs and shoring it up. So before the funding was approved, it collapsed, which is a shame. Our next destination was about a 15-minute drive south on Route 26 to the Reinard Bridge, which fortunately is in a lot better shape. This bridge was very strongly built. It was actually washed off its piers twice in the early 20th century and was literally able to be put right back on its piers. But in 2004, there were two floods quickly together, the one that washed it off its piers and the other one destroyed it while it was still in the stream bed, and it had to be completely rebuilt, which it was, obviously. Well, leaving Reinard Bridge for our final leg down to Marietta, about a 20-minute drive. The total driving time along this route is about 50 minutes, not including stops. There are absolutely no amenities along the way, except for what you might find in the campgrounds in the National Forest. Here's the second mail pouch barn that we saw on the route. It took 2 hours to get back from Marietta to Pittsburgh. It was nice to come through that Fort Pitt tunnel at night, though, and see the lights of the city. As empty as everything is with the COVID lockdowns in place, but the Wyndham Hotel gave us a nice welcome home. The lights on in their hotel rooms. Thanks for watching. Please click the thumbs up icon to like the video and share with your friends via email or social media. I'd love to have you subscribe, and if you do, please click the little bell icon so you'll get notifications whenever I post a new video. Goodbye.